Hello and welcome to Match Point, your one-stop destination for all the major sporting action from the week gone by. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Over the next half an hour, our top focus is on the India versus New Zealand third ODI decider, with the series finally poised. We'll also turn our attention to the Australian Open, the first Grand Slam of the year. Look at the top contenders and Venus Williams making history as the oldest woman to feature in the singles main draw. Plus updates from Premier League, India Open badminton and an exclusive conversation with a squash superstar. Let's get started. Alright, we'll start with cricket. With the series finally poised at 1-1, India and New Zealand geared up for a high voltage decider in Indore on Sunday. India entered the final ODI with questions over their bowling combination. Kuldeep Yadav struggled for control and even Ravindra Jadeja's form remains a concern. At the batting-friendly Holkar Stadium, discipline with the ball and early breakthroughs will be crucial as India look to protect their perfect record on this ground and seal the series. DD India correspondent Anahat Singh brings us this report.
With the series locked at 1-1, the third and the final ODI between India and New Zealand in Indore on Sunday shapes up as the high-stakes showdown where precision will matter more than flair. India entered the decider with concern over their bowling combination after their spinners was outplayed in the first two matches. The defeat in Rajkot exposed the cracks in the middle overs, an area that long has been India's fortress. New Zealand's batter, led by Daryl Mitchell, dismantled the control with smart footwork and fearless sweeping, turning spin into scoring opportunities. Kuldeep Yadav, usually India's middle over weapon, struggled to impose himself. Attacked for both length and trajectory, he was denied rhythm as the Kiwi batters read him early and disrupted India's plans. As a unit, India's spinners failed to build sustained pressure, a stark contrast to New Zealand's slow bowlers who squeezed India through the middle overs and forced errors. Now the spotlight shifts to Indore's Holkar Stadium, a venue where bowlers walk a tightrope and batters hold the whip. With the short boundaries and a fast outfield, discipline becomes non-negotiable. The absence of Washington Sundar was clearly felt in Rajkot, while Nitish Kumar Reddy bowled only 2 overs. Condition may prompt the team management to consider an off-spin option like Ayush Badoni, even strengthen the pace attack. Left-arm pacer Arshdeep Singh could be a valuable addition, offering a fuller length on a ground where back-of-the-length bowling can be costly. Mohammad Siraj set to lead the attack, with early wickets holding the key to breaking New Zealand platform. With the bat, India are unlikely to tinker with their core. Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, Virat Kohli, KL Rahul and Shreyas Iyer remain central to the plan. India's perfect record at Holkar offers confidence, but in a series decider, execution, not history, will decide the winner. Anahat Singh for DD India.
And India has historically thrived here at the Holkar Stadium, winning each of the 7 ODIs they have played at this venue. And the ground on which Virender Sehwag hit a double century, the highest individual ODI score at the time in 2011, is still retaining its identity as a bit of a belter. The strip to be used for Sunday's ODI is made up of black soil, which will offer true bounce and not wicket spin. It has the makings of a typical 50-over batting-friendly surface, the kind where pacing of an innings can be crucial and runs are there to be plundered once early nerves are settled, and it remains to be seen how that affects India's fortunes in this series decider, especially with the onset of dew in the winter evening set to give the chasing side the edge. But the conditions on offer give India's batting titans the best chance for another show of strength before they go into hibernation until the IPL. Moving on, the Indian Cricket Selection Committee has added Shreyas Iyer and Ravi Bishnoi to India's squad for the upcoming 5-match T20I series against New Zealand on Friday. Shreyas has been named as Tilak Varma's replacement for the first 3 matches of the series. Tilak underwent surgery for an abdominal issue earlier this month and will miss the first 3 games of the series against the Kiwis. While leg spinner Ravi Bishnoi replaced all-rounder Washington Sundar in the squad, Washington was ruled out of the T20Is against the Kiwis after suffering a side strain during the first ODI against the same opposition. The injury forced the spin bowling all-rounder to miss the second ODI and was replaced by Ayush Badoni. All right, moving on, Bangladesh's cricketers called off their boycott in the greater interest of the game after country's cricket board and the Players Welfare Association arrived at a consensus leading to the resumption of the scheduled BPL T20 matches on Friday. The BCB on Thursday stared at the prospect of the flagship T20 league coming to a halt after senior national players revolted against director Najmul Islam for his disparaging comments against them. Najmul said players were not entitled to compensation if Bangladesh missed the upcoming ICC Men's T20 World Cup and suggested the board could demand refunds from cricketers for poor international performances. Bangladesh Cricket Board then sacked Najmul amid demands from the cricketers. All right, shifting focus to tennis now. The Australian Open 2026 is set to open the Grand Slam season with the main draw now revealed and the world's top tennis players gearing up for the action at Melbourne Park. With defending champions returning, historic milestones on the line and blockbuster clashes already taking shape, the stage is set for 2 weeks of high-voltage tennis. Here's a look at what to expect down under.
The first Grand Slam of 2026 is just round the corner. The Australian Open will run from January 18 to February 1, with the women's final scheduled for January 31 and the men's final on February 1. The hard courts of Melbourne Park once again host the season's opening major, featuring a record prize pool of nearly $75 million. In the men's draw, defending champion Jannik Sinner begins his quest for a rare third straight Australian Open title. The Italian finds himself in the same half as Novak Djokovic, who is a 10-time champion in Melbourne and is chasing a historic 25th Grand Slam title. Meanwhile, the world number one, Carlos Alcaraz, will be attempting to become the youngest man in history to win the career Grand Slam at just 22 years old. The Spaniard will start his campaign against home favourite Adam Walton and could face Alexander Zverev in the semi-finals. Last year's runner-up, Zverev opens his campaign against Canada's Gabriel Diallo. Defending champion Sinner will face Hugo Castro, while Djokovic will clash with Pedro Martinez.
I'm just angry for the title, angry to do a really good result here. So I'm just getting ready as much as I can, and I'm really excited about the tournament begun.
It's great to be back here. It's such a special place for me, and starting the season here is always very, very nice, very beautiful, and obviously you never know what's happening. So let's see what's coming.
The women's draw also promises drama right from the start. Defending champion Madison Keys begins her title defense against Ukraine's Alexandra, while world number one Aryna Sabalenka, a two-time Australian Open champion, arrives in strong form after defending her Brisbane title. One of the most talked about possibilities is a second-round clash between Coco Gauff and Venus Williams. Coco Gauff will open her account against Kamila Rakhimova, while world number one Aryna Sabalenka is pitted against French wildcard Tiansova Rajaona, while fourth seed Amanda Anisimova begins her quest against Simona Waltert.
I'm happy to be back. I have a lot of great memories from this place, and yeah, I can't complain about my start of the season. I think I played some great matches there, showed great tennis, and super excited to start this tournament.
From record chases to fresh rivalries, and from seasoned champions to rising stars, the Australian Open 2026 promises a compelling start to the tennis year. Sports Desk, DD India.
And 7 times Grand Slam champion Venus Williams thanked Australian Open organisers for giving her a wildcard that will see the 45-year-old American become the oldest woman ever to compete in the singles main draw. Williams returned to tennis last season after a 16-month break, winning one of her 4 tour-level matches before starting 2026 with a first-round defeat by Paul Magdalene at the Auckland Classic last week. Some fans have questioned whether Williams, who last won a Grand Slam match in 2021, deserves a wildcard ahead of an up-and-coming player, but former Grand Slam champions Andy Roddick and Kim Clijsters strongly backed her participation.
It's been 5 years since I've been here. They flew by, and I'm super grateful for the opportunity from Tennis Australia, and grateful for the opportunity to play in front of the fans. I've just received so much support in the tournaments leading up and walking around the city and everything. So my hope is to play my best.
All right, shifting focus to football now. The stage is set for a blockbuster Africa Cup of Nations final as 2021 winners Senegal is set to take on Morocco on Sunday. Youssef and Nasri netted the decisive spot kick as host Morocco secured a 4-2 shootout victory over Nigeria following their 0-0 draw in a tense Africa Cup of Nations semi-finals. Meanwhile, Sadio Mane's dramatic goal in the final minutes of the game sent Senegal into the Africa Cup of Nations final, edging Egypt 1-0. Morocco, seeking their first continental title in 50 years, will face Senegal in Sunday's summit clash, while Nigeria take on Egypt in the third place playoff.
Well, it's an amazing final with the best two teams in Africa in the last 3 years. If you tell me in the beginning we can play against Senegal in the final, I tell you it's complicated because big team, good coach. For me, it's a good final for the AFCON, for the publicity about the AFCON.
Liverpool returned to Premier League action against Burnley today, fresh from the FA Cup win over Barnsley. The Reds will hope to use the momentum from that 4-1 win to get back to winning ways in the league. Ancelot's side have drawn their last 3 matches, but their most recent stalemate was against league leaders Arsenal. Liverpool will be hopeful of 3 points against the Clarets, who sit 19th with 13 points, 8 astray of safety. Slot nevertheless has injury concerns to deal with, and the continued absence of Mohamed Salah, who remains at AFCON despite Egypt now being unable to win the competition. Scott Parker, Burnley's coach, is not without his own issues to overcome, and Liverpool's 95th minute win in September via a penalty from Salah will undoubtedly leave a sour taste. Improving upon that result will not come easily at Anfield, but Parker will definitely look up to turn around the things. An Indian squash player, Anahat Singh, who brought laurels for India at Squash World Cup, spoke to us a while ago. Let's take a listen. Hello and welcome to our special broadcast. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. We are joined by Indian squash player Anahat Singh, who has been touted as India's next squash superstar. She has won medals at the Asian Games, first Indian woman to become a US Open champion in any age division, part of the Indian team that won gold in World Cup also. Welcome, Anahat. Appreciate you giving us your precious time. First of all, congratulations on winning the World Cup, India's first ever Squash World Cup gold. Tell us, how big is this achievement for you and the team? And when actually did it sink in that the team had in fact created history?
Thank you. It was, I think, yeah, it was a great moment for all 4 of us, just getting to play on that stage and getting to play at home in India, surrounded by so many people, and at such a big event. We were all just really excited to, get the chance to even play and, compete at that level with so many of the top athletes. And I think just as the matches went along, all 4 of us were playing extremely well throughout that week, and we just tried to take it one step at a time and see how far we can go, and it ended up turning out to be some of the best squash all of us have played. And yeah.
And also the Prime Minister congratulated you and the team on this victory. What did that recognition mean to you?
I think it was so amazing just getting to see that. All 4 of us were together at that time, and we were just discussing it, and we were like, it was so grateful and so lucky to have this opportunity and get this kind of recognition from him. And yeah, just getting to see that that our achievement was noticed and that he was happy for us and proud of us. It was something that all of us were really happy to see, and it's something that really pushed us to continue to do more and win more medals for the country.
Also, Anahat, 2025 will forever stand out as a golden year in your squash career. You clinched a bronze medal at the World Junior Squash Championships. You won the Indian Open and the Chennai Open, and also you played a key role in India's historic World Cup triumph.
Yeah, it's been a very special year, and it was my first year playing properly in the professional circuit as well, and also playing the junior event. So it was something quite different from what I've been doing since I started playing squash. And yeah, it's been extremely exciting because I've gotten to play tournaments that I've only dreamt of playing since I've been a kid, and watching on YouTube and watching the players and just thinking that I'm so excited to hopefully one day even get the chance to get onto court with them. And I think these experiences have really taught me so much, and I've learned so much from it, and hopefully I can take whatever I've learned on to 2026 and make full use of it, and hopefully get some good wins as well.
And also, Joshna Chinnappa speaks a lot about your calmness under pressure. Is that something that comes naturally to you, or something you have consciously worked on?
No, I'd say it's something that just ends up coming to me naturally. I always feel like I play much better when I think that's for everyone, that when you're not under pressure, you end up playing a lot better. And when you're just, focused on taking it point by point rather than thinking about the big picture. And yeah, that's just something I've always tried to follow. And I feel like that's something that benefits me a lot. So I try not to think too much about something that would, stress me out in the middle of the match. And that's something just keeps me calm throughout. And yeah, I've always been like that, and I feel like it's always helped me out.
Right. Also, Anahat, you've been playing with Joshna for quite some time now. Deepika also. I mean, Joshna also speaks very highly of you. How is it playing with Joshna? I mean, what does she tell you? She must have given you a lot of tips. I mean, you have been playing with her for quite some time now. What does she tell you? The best advice that she has given you?
Honestly, none of us really talk too much about squash outside the squash court, because
really?
anyways, it gets a lot when you're going for practice and matches. But I think just even without her telling me anything, indirectly, just watching her do like routines before a match, after a match, how she prepares herself during, just getting to learn these things and just watching how she takes on everything is also something that I've learned so much over the past couple of years. Maybe she's not really said anything to me directly where we've had a conversation about it, but just getting to watch and seeing her at a match, seeing her at a match when there's high stakes, and just getting to learn from it and see what I can do to bring that part of what she does into my game and change a little bit about that, and take the best from her squash and try to learn a little bit by myself as well.
All right. Anahat, also squash will make its Olympic debut at LA 2028. Joshna says India has been waiting for that Olympic squash medal, and she sees you as a contender. Do you allow yourself to dream that far ahead?
I think it's definitely in mind. That's there for every single athlete. I'm not going to deny the fact that it's in a few years, so there's still a couple of, there's still a little bit of time, but it's then the big picture. It's the first year the squash is going to be in the Olympics, so every single squash player is going to be training towards it. They're going to put their 100% into qualifying for the Olympics and getting a medal for the country as well. And I think I'm just going to do my best to, take it one step at a time. First, make sure that I've qualified for it, and the fact that I'm sure that I'm going to be there playing, and then from there take on and see how I can be playing my best squash by the time I'm at the Olympics, and I can get a medal for the country as well.
All right, Anahat, we'll leave it at that. All the best to you and your entire squash team for the bigger assignments in future, and of course LA Olympics is a dream, like you also said. Thank you for speaking with DD India.
Thank you.
All right, moving on, Indian shooter Akhil Shahran believes that the inaugural edition of the Shooting League of India will be a game changer for these sports. Shahran adds that with the youngsters showing a lot of potential and there's so much to learn from them, the Asian Games medalists talk to DD India's Narayan Singh.
Next month we will see the Shooting League of India, the world's first shooting league, and today it was the launch of the third team, the Prometheus, UP Prometheans, and right now I am joined by Indian shooter, the Asian Game gold medalist Akhil Shiron. Akhil, a very warm welcome. How you look this shooting league? Do you think it's going to be a game changer, not only for the Indian shooting but for the global shooting?
Definitely, I think this event is going to be a game changer because we didn't have any kind of platform where the normal audience can connect with the sports, but this will be that event where the audience can understand what kind of a sports, and not only the sports but athlete will also get a recognition by the audience and they can showcase their performances.
Talking about the shooting in the recent times, if you talk about 4-5 years back, Indian shooting is in a different mode. If you talk about the international event, World Cup, World Championship, Commonwealth Games, Olympics, the part of the shooting in the medal winning streak is maximum. So what are the reasons you find behind this stupendous rise of the Indian shooting?
I think Indian shooting always been doing very well in Commonwealth, Asian and World Championship, and have been doing very well for the Olympics also, won many medals. But these competitions comes in 4 years, and I think Shooting League will be that competition where it will happen in every year, and every year the people will come and watch it on live television. Right now we only have live telecast on YouTube, but that will be the great chance for the sports to live telecast, schedule planned events where athletes, not only the international athletes but the elite athlete from the country and the youth who are only representing nationals, but they will also get interacted by the international players, and I think that this will be a very great image changing for the shooting sports.
Talking about the shooting, there are many young shooters we have seen in the recent time dominating the world champions and breaking the world records. So do you think that in the next few years, definitely if you talk about the next Olympic cycle, definitely India will have more medals and a better result?
I'm sure India is going to win many more medals in upcoming Olympics and many other games, because we have seen that on the world-class platforms in the World Championship and other World Cups, the shooting is doing very well, winning multiple medals, breaking world records. I think this is the sign that now we're going to change the number of the medals in the Olympics and other competitions. And the potential the youth is showing in the competition, they are making us difficult for us who is playing for many years. They are just coming and showing the huge amount of talent and the skills. It's very hard to cope up, but I think so many things are there to learn from them also.
Definitely a right thing. Akhil said that a stiff challenge and stiff competition is there between the youngsters and the players who are already had dominated the world scene, and this is a healthy competition, and definitely it will be a good thing for the Indian shooting. With camera person Manmohan, Narayan Singh, DD India, Noida.
And the Indian challenge at the India Open 2026 concluded on Friday as Lakshya Sen suffered a hard-fought quarter-final defeat in New Delhi. Facing Chinese Taipei's Lin Chun-yi, the 24-year-old Indian started strong by taking the opening game, but eventually succumbed to a 21-17, 13-21, 18-21 loss. Despite the home crowd support, Sen couldn't replicate the form that saw him win the Australian Open last November. With his exit, India's hopes for a title on home soil have officially ended. Lakshya Sen will now look to regain momentum ahead of the upcoming European leg of the PWF Tour. And in a historic first, Britain will host the Grand Depart for the 2027 edition of the premier road cycling event Tour de France. The occasion will mark the first time that both men's and women's tours will start in the same nation outside France. The men's opening stage will begin on July 2nd, working its way from Scotland's capital Edinburgh to Carlisle in northwest England. Meanwhile, the women's tour, underway on July 30 from Leeds, will head through the Peak District to Sheffield before the final stage in London. This also marks the third time the men's race has visited Britain since 2007, when the Grand Depart was staged in London. All right, that's all we have in this edition of Match Point. Hope you enjoyed watching. Take care.